Good morning, everybody. Welcome to my home. My name is Becky, and I am so excited that you're here today. Well, before I say another word, let me first thank you all for helping me to reach 5,000 subscribers this past week. I was so excited to see that number pop up. I've been watching it, and I'm excited to say that I was able to reach 5,000 subscribers within the first year of being on YouTube. May will be my YouTube anniversary, the first one. And I just really didn't know what to expect going into this. I was just going to kind of say, if it happens, if I do well, I do well. If I get 100 subscribers, that's what I have. If not, then all I can say is that I tried. And I feel like you guys have just really pushed me to continue doing these videos. If it weren't for you, I certainly wouldn't be doing them. I did them in the beginning just because I thought it would be fun, but you guys have just made it a whole nother level of fun, and I have had the best time, the most fun getting to know you, getting to talk to you, getting to interact with you. I read other people's comments. I think mine are better. I think you guys are better. I think you're just awesome, and I can't tell you that enough. So I told you last week that David and I were going to the mountains this coming weekend, and we did. We went to the North Carolina mountains, and then we scooted over across the border, and we snuck into Tennessee to go to an antique store. We did a little antiquing, but we only had 4 days, and 2 of those days were travel days. So we only had 2 days to do much of anything. David wanted to do some things that he wanted to do, which he likes antiquing, but he goes for me a lot of the times too. But we went on a train ride. We did some antiquing. We saw a lot of wildlife out on the side of the road, so we got to see that. We did some driving through the mountains. I will share a little bit of the footage from things that he and I did. I know that may not be everybody's cup of tea. You may not want to sit there and watch a whole lot of that, so I'll just do a little bit of footage of some of the views that we saw. I'll show you the animals that we came across. I'll show you a little bit of that, and of course I'm going to show you the antique stores that we went into. So we're going to start with the one. Now let me just back up a little bit. We like to stay in a little town called Maggie Valley, North Carolina. It is a valley. It is nestled in I can't remember the name of the county. It's between Cherokee, North Carolina, and like Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. So it's kind of like a drive, an hour either way-ish. It is just the most quaint town. My father used to take us all on vacation every year to Pigeon Forge. And if you know anything about Pigeon Forge, you know that right now it is nothing like it was back in the 80s and 70s and even before that. The good thing about Maggie Valley is that it never changes. The bad thing about Maggie Valley is that it never changes, because when I go, I get emotional. I see the same things that I experienced with my dad, and it kind of gets me in my feelings, and my mom, of course. It kind of gets me in my feelings, but it's also like visiting home again. David and I stay in the same motel that my dad stayed in. It is still there. It's one of those motels that kind of one level, and it kind of wraps around, if you know what I'm talking about, and you can park right in front of your room and just walk right in. There's no stairs or anything like that. And we stay in the same motel. We travel the same roads. The same little shops are set up. It's just like visiting home for me. There is an antique store there, and it's called Sutton and Sons. And if you have ever heard that name, it may sound familiar to you. There is a notorious moonshiner from this area that went by the name of Popcorn Sutton. And yes, it is the same family. The family still lives there and has businesses there, but he's famous for his moonshining. He was arrested, but he's since passed away. But his legacy lives on. The first antique store that I'm going to show you is owned by members of his family, and it's called Sutton and Sons. Now, I did not buy anything from there, and I didn't get a lot of footage A lot of what is in Sutton and Sons is true antiques, and I love antiques, obviously, but my style is geared more towards the mid-century modern type things, 60s, 70s type of era. And this place, if you love antiques, there are no crafts in there. There are no NASCAR memorabilia. They only allow antique dealers. So if that's something that you're into and you're in the area, certainly visit them. They have different vendors in there. It's not just one owner. It's like a vendor mall. I will tell you to notice there's a set of glasses in there. You'll see David holding them up to the light. Those were probably the best thing that I saw in there because they were from Ghost Town. Ghost Town was what made Maggie Valley famous back in the day. It has since closed down. If you Google Ghost Town, you will see that it is a true ghost town now. It was like set up old Western style, and you could see gunfights in the streets. They had saloon girls. It was so fun, and I spent a lot of my childhood there. They have tried to get new owners in to try to rebuild it and get it going again, but it's on the top of a mountain. It's really expensive to put back into work. There's talk of it, but that was their main source of bringing tourists in back in the day. But those ghost town glasses were my favorite find at Sutton and Sons. All right, so the next antique store that we went to, we did a little traveling to get to. I had found this antique store through another YouTuber a few years ago. It is in Sevierville, Tennessee, which is just down the road from Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg. So if you're ever there doing the whole tourist thing, shoot down the road a little bit and visit this antique store. It's called Green Old Antiques, and it is a two-story antique mall, and it is so much fun to go through. We probably spent 2 to 3 hours in this antique mall. I did buy 4 things there. 2 of the things I'm going to show you after this video, and I'll show you where I put it at in the house. The other 2 things I'm going to save for the next video for next week because Lily's going to share them with you because they were purchased for her and she wants to show them to you. So we're going to keep those 2 things a surprise. You may notice them, you may see them in the video, and you may say, I wonder if that's what Lily got as her souvenir. You may be right, because by now you guys have kind of come to know Lily and her style and her taste. So kudos to you if you guess what it is, but we'll share those with you next week. But for now, I'm going to show you Green Old Antique Mall. Okay, so the two things that I purchased, I'm going to show you real quick, and then we'll pop down off the table and I'll show you where I put them at in the house. The first piece, I knew exactly where it was going. David did not like it. He was like, that is so ugly. I said, no, 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 no. That is glorious, and it's coming home with me. So let me show you. The first thing that I purchased was this pillow, and it is going in Lily's room. But isn't this amazing? I love this pillow so much, I can't even tell you. He hated it, and I don't know why, because it's me. It's just everything that I'm all about. So that was the first thing I purchased. I think I paid $12 for it. I can't remember now. It wasn't much, but. And then I got a little owl figurine. There was a couple that I showed you that I was pondering over which one to get, but this one in the end David picked out, and I thought, you know what? He's the cutest. There was another one that was from Japan that I kind of liked too, but this one won me over, and I have a special place for him. Now, he may go in a different spot later, but for now, I'll show you where I'm gonna put him. So we're gonna pop into the craft room, and we're gonna put my little owl here on this shelf. Now, this is just a few of my owls. This is not all of them, but this shelf is what's special in here. It was made in shop class by my uncle back in the probably 60s, maybe. I'm not exactly sure. He died very young, and my mother cherished this shelf, and she let me have it. So this is one of the things that she passed down to me before she really started losing her cognitive ability. So she was very happy that I loved it, and she wanted me to have it, so she gave it to me. But she truly cherished this shelf, and it was made by her baby brother. And these are just a few of my owls, and you can see I have made a spot. So we're gonna put him right here for now. Now, he may find another home later, but for now, that's where he's gonna go. He's just gonna join the gang of owls. So we're gonna pop into the guest room next, and you can probably guess this is where the pillow is gonna live forever. This is its new forever home, and look how perfect that looks. I forgot to show you the back of the pillow. It's kind of like a netting. It looks like they used just a round pillow form and maybe macrameed it around with yarn. I don't know how to macrame, but that's what it seems to be. But the front is what got me, and look how beautiful it is. It's like it was always meant to be here. I'll see if I can get David to get on video and admit that he was wrong about the pillow, so you all can hear him say that he was wrong, that the pillow's amazing, and he should have never doubted me. That's not gonna happen. Okay, so the next day is when we did our train ride. That took a majority of the day. That was in Bryson City, if you're ever interested. We drove down the Tuckasegee River on a train, had never done that before. It was fun. It was an experience. I think, and I'm not a critiquer, I'm not a complainer, please don't take it that way. I think that the Nantahala might have been a better view if that ride or that excursion had been available. I think that might have been more scenic views for us, because the Tuckasegee River tour, it was fine. It was just kind of like when you're on the river bank in the mountains, you're gonna see a lot of campgrounds, because that's where they're all drawn to. They're out there fly fishing. They're just soaking it all in, as they should, and as I would be also. But I feel like maybe going by the Nantahala, which is a little larger, would have been a more scenic view. So if I do it again, I will definitely do that excursion. They also do a Polar Express for the kids during Christmas time that's really popular. But the Tuckasegee excursion took you to a little town to just have lunch. The town was called, oh gosh, Dillsboro. And it was the sweetest little town. It was just precious. They had all these little shops that you could go in and look around and support the locals there. One of the shops was entirely made up of handmade craft items that locals had made and taken to the shop. So I bought a couple of pairs of earrings from there. I didn't pull those out to show you, but I guess I can. One of them is a wood carved Sasquatch. So I got some Sasquatch earrings and I got some sunflower earrings. I'll show them to you in a minute. I'll go grab them. But those were handmade by a local resident, and I thought that was a neat little store. But anyway, you drive in, you take the train into Dillsboro, you have a little box lunch. David and I had a box lunch by the riverbank, and we shopped around a little bit, got back on the train, and went back to Bryson City. After Bryson City, we wanted to, drive around a little bit. So we went to a little town back in closer towards where we were staying, and it was called Sylva, North Carolina. Now, I have driven through Sylva. It's a cute little town. So Sylva seems to be one of these little small towns that is old in age, but they're trying to modernize it by bringing in a younger crowd. Make it a little more hip and fun and interesting, a neat place to go. And it really is. I saw a lot of young people there walking around, walking their dogs. And I don't know if I said that earlier. I kind of had to break off what I was saying. But if you've ever been to Asheville, it's kind of like that. Lots of young people walking around, which is fun to me to see an old town being revived and revitalized, and the old buildings being reused for new businesses, and I just love seeing that. So there was lots of breweries, there was lots of apothecary places, lots of those. Couple antique stores. The one that I really enjoyed was called End of Main, and is literally the last little store at the end of Main Street. And it is I would describe it more as a vintage store than an antique store, because everything in there, probably 80% of the things in there were like mid-century, which is right up my alley, and I enjoyed looking at everything. Lots of fun colors and patterns, and I think you're gonna enjoy, your eyes are just gonna be dancing when you see all the neat things that were in this little store called End of Main. I wrote it down here, in Sylva, North Carolina.
How come the stars come to shine when it's dark from so far away? Show us where we are. What makes the sun go to sleep every night, and what's it dreaming of? I wonder. How come the sky sometimes hides behind the clouds? Maybe it's just like me, a little bit scared of heights. Why does the rain always keep on pouring down when it's gray outside? It really makes me wonder. Yeah, it makes me wonder. It really makes me wonder. Gets undressed when it's cold, and don't they miss the leaves they left behind? Could it be to make the ground shine like gold until winter comes? Until winter comes, until winter comes. It really makes me wonder. Yeah, it makes me wonder.
So guys, I'm going to end this video, and I'm going to, before I end it, I'm going to show you a little bit of the footage from the trip, some of the scenic views that we saw, the mountain views. I'll also show you my earrings. I went and grabbed them also. So let me show you these. This is the artist, Shelley's Laser Art, in Lake Toxaway, North Carolina. I'm not really sure where Lake Toxaway is, but let me put them on the hanger. Hold on. These are my Sasquatch earrings that I got from the little shop in Dillsboro. Stay still, Sasquatch. Okay, aren't those cute? And then I got these. These were $9.99, and it's laser art, and they're made out of wood. So I really enjoy them. I wore the Sasquatch earrings on the trip, and people actually did notice them. They're like, "Oh my gosh, where did you get those?" So that's all I really have to say. If you don't care about the trip, you can kind of sign off now. If you just wanted to see the antiques and all that, then you can kind of sign off. But if you're interested, I'll end this video with just, like I said, a little bit of footage from the mountain views and some of the things that we saw. Ignore the bugs on the windshield, by the way. If you see us driving and I was filming through the dashboard or through the windshield, the bugs were terrible. We were in nature, so that's what happens. Several bugs had to die for us to go on this trip, so unfortunately. But again, thank you all for helping me to reach 5,000 subscribers. You just made my day, and I do love you all, and until next time, I'll see you later. Bye. Beeping the horn.
Of all the magic places in the world I've been to, this is where my heart is. Oh, you know it's true. No matter where I go, I'm coming home to you. Been walking down the street so many times, my feet know every brick and stone. Could wear a blindfold. No matter what I do, I'm coming home to you. And I don't know why, don't know why, don't know why, I'm always feeling homesick.
Like I'm going to throw an apple at you. So it is an amazing place, and the history goes very, very deep. So I'll be coming through and pointing out interesting things to you out the windows right there on the train ride, telling you about the train.
When I was just a baby, my mama told me, son, always be a good boy and don't mess around with guns. But I shot a man in Reno just to watch him die. When I hear that lonesome whistle, I hang my head